Something's breaking in Baltimore. The Ravens, once known for their fierce defense and winning mentality, suddenly look like a shadow of what they used to be. After that humiliating blowout loss to the Texans, John Harbaugh looked lost. The defense fell apart, and even the team's biggest names started feeling the pressure. What used to be a picture of stability has turned into pure desperation, and everyone inside that locker room knows the clock is ticking. Now, Harbaugh is doing everything he can to turn things around. He's opening the door for change, giving Chuck Pagano more control to help rebuild the defense, and sending a clear message that no one's job is safe. But the real question hanging over Baltimore is this: can the Ravens still find their true identity before the season completely slips away? The atmosphere around the Ravens changed overnight after that 44-10 beating from Houston. It was one of those losses you can't explain away with excuses. Harbaugh, usually calm and composed, looked out answers. He talked about making changes, but it was obvious he didn't even know where to start. The team lacked energy, focus, and that trademark pride that always defined the Ravens. What's striking is that Harbaugh didn't use injuries as a shield this time. Even though the list is massive, he said the problem isn't physical, it's mental. It's about discipline, energy, and the will to fight back when things start falling apart. And that's what makes the situation so concerning. It's not just bad football. It's a team that's lost its edge. Still, Harbaugh didn't want to make any emotional decisions. Many expected him to fire defensive coordinator Zach, or right after the game, but he held off. He said it wasn't a time for rash moves, even after the defense's worst showing of the year. That approach split opinions. Some think it shows leadership. Others call it stubbornness. But one thing's clear. After this loss, Harbaugh became the story. Fans want answers. The locker room needs direction. And while the season isn't over yet, the margin for error is gone. Harbaugh knows that. And what he does over the next few weeks will decide whether the Ravens bounce back or spiral further down. And while the head coach tries to stay composed in the middle of the storm, there's a growing question inside that building. Does the old Ravens identity, the one built on pride and defense, still exist? For years, hearing the name Baltimore Ravens meant one thing: toughness, defense, and respect. This was a franchise with a crystal-clear identity, the kind of team that set the tone and made opponents think twice before stepping on the field. But that version of the Ravens is gone. What you see now is a team that looks lost, fragile, and nothing like its former self. What used to be consistency has turned into a mess of missed tackles and mental mistakes. The defense, once the soul of Baltimore football, has become one of the league's biggest weaknesses. Without Lamar Jackson on the field, the offense has lost both rhythm and confidence. But the truth is, the problems run deeper than just his absence. This entire team looks directionless. The losses keep piling up, and what used to look like an easy playoff road now feels like a mountain to climb. There's confusion everywhere. The Ravens don't seem to know who they are anymore. The energy, the swagger, the pride in that jersey, all of it feels distant. An identity crisis like this is dangerous, especially for a franchise that's built its name on dominance. When your defense can't hold up and your offense can't find its rhythm, you lose the very thing that defined you, that competitive soul that made Baltimore feared. And that's what's at stake right now. The Ravens need to rediscover what once made them special, that toughness, that resilience, that fire to fight back when everything's falling apart. Harbaugh knows this moment is critical. The air around the team feels heavy, like everyone understands this could be the turning point. Either they reclaim who they are, or they keep sliding into something they've never been: ordinary. And that growing sense of urgency is exactly what pushed Harbaugh to finally open up to change in a way he hadn't before. The day after that ugly loss, Harbaugh faced the media again. And this time, he sounded different. Gone was the calm, controlled tone. You could tell he hadn't slept much, and his words carried weight. No excuses, no pretending things were fine. For once, he was raw and real. He admitted how serious things have gotten and showed a genuine willingness to do whatever it takes. This was a side of Harbaugh we don't often see. More human, more self-aware, and more desperate to fix what's broken. He said the sense of urgency has always been there, but now it's being tested like never before. Nobody's comfortable. The pressure is real. The pride is gone. That message at home inside the locker room. Because players felt, maybe for first time, that the coach was truly ready to shake things up and listen. This new version of Harbaugh seems focused on reconnecting with his team. Rumors have been swirling about a disconnect between the defense and the coaching staff, and he knows that before anything changes on the field, he has to rebuild trust from within. That's now the plan. Fix the communication, redefine responsibilities, and bring back that sense of unity that's been missing all season. But time is running out. Every week that passes, the urgency grows. It's clear Harbaugh is trying to hold this thing together on the fly, knowing each game from now on could make or break their season. And that's where Chuck Pagano steps in, one of the few people who might actually know how to bring back the old Raven spirit.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Few people understand Baltimore's DNA like Chuck Pagano. A key part of the Ravens' defensive glory years, Pagano is now back on the sidelines trying to revive what's left of that tradition. As senior defensive assistant and secondary coach, he's working nonstop to plug the leaks, study film, and find answers to a defense that's become a weekly liability. Harbaugh praised his effort, saying Pagano is doing everything to hold this thing together. Inside the locker room, Pagano still carries respect. He's been there, done that. He knows what elite defense looks like, and he knows how to fix it. The problem is, this group is a long way from elite. Injuries have devastated key positions, and confidence across the defense is cratered. Still, Pagano is pushing hard to reignite the pride, energy, and fight that used to define Baltimore's defense. But he also knows this goes beyond schemes or play calling. What the Ravens really need right now is attitude, commitment, leadership. The veterans need to step up, and the younger players need to understand what it means to wear that Ravens uniform. Without that mindset, no amount of tactical adjustment will matter, and Pagano, with all his experience, gets that better than anyone. Harbaugh is betting big on him to help steady the ship. The hope is that Pagano can bring back at least some of that defensive edge that made Baltimore who they are. But the truth is, the problems aren't limited to the coaching staff. The players themselves are now under microscope, and for the first time in a long time, nobody's job is safe. The message inside that building couldn't be clearer. No one is untouchable. Harbaugh made it known that every position is being evaluated, and recent performances aren't enough to keep anyone comfortable. That includes veterans on defense, the offensive line, and even quarterback Cooper Rush. After a shaky game against the Texans, Harbaugh defended him publicly. But he knows Tyler Huntley is right there, waiting for his shot. The pressure has spread across the entire roster. Players who once felt secure now look over their shoulders, wondering if they'll still have a role next week. It's survival mode in Baltimore. Either you show improvement right now, or you're out. Harbaugh is betting on that competitive fire to wake this team up, to remind everyone what it means to wear the Ravens logo. It's harsh, but maybe that's exactly what this team needs. A wake-up call, a reminder that playing for Baltimore isn't about comfort. It's about fight. Harbaugh wants to see who's willing to face the pressure head-on, who's ready to respond when everything's on the line. Because right now, every snap, every play, every game matters more than ever. At the end of the day, this isn't just about saving the season. It's about saving the identity of the Baltimore Ravens. Every choice, every reaction, every bit of effort from here on out will shape the future of this team. And if there's one thing Baltimore has always been known for, it's finding a way to rise when everything looks lost. The question is, do they still have that fight left in them? The Ravens are standing at a crossroads. Between the pressure for results, the loss of identity, and the desperate need for a turnaround, Baltimore feels like a franchise on the edge, ready to either rise again or collapse completely. Harbaugh's holding the line. Pagano's searching for answers, and the players are feeling the weight of proving they still belong among the NFL's elite. The big question now is simple but heavy. Does this team still have the heart and pride that's always defined the Ravens' DNA? Or are we watching the end of an era in Baltimore? One way or another, the next few weeks will reveal everything. Who's ready to fight and who's not.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.